Yes. Synchronized mind. Can y'all read between the lines? Fine. Chris has finally said type shit. As Sandman to do his tricks to make y'all Z's from lips, because then I could say my most recent shit in the recesses of heads. Where all the crevices would have been, that's when my clever would begin, because I'm just gonna wave this wall like it's an extension of me hand. This is when I get grand. This is mermaid the flap, what she got, she wish she could walk, oh my god, then gulp, and then you would see in the flesh, me start to glow, with me tongue would go, because then I wanna get just particle of God they talk about, more large from small, because then y'all would have saw the relentless was him then, with excellence of exhibitions of this, because then in and out of different dimensions of what would stick and what would stench, of what needs to get off of this boat or ship. I bow well with time, so I'm buoyant till the fucking sea soul with a sea mode, and then a fucking ambition was this, inside the pits, inside of what would live, but now it didn't, so knock on wood I guess. Y'all need to write a note for your congressman and address how I just rocked this bitch until the bra came off a bitch that was yours with your arms around. Just for now, I guess, because then you need to know type shit. Like it's gonna be a Dear John you get with the print from my octopus friend, because they all opted to have the opticus on me when they watching it. The optics would have switched and opted off from this bitch, because I need to know, like the fins of the dolphins that hop from off the surface of wit. Have I resided right long enough for y'all to sigh or put aside? Like this my residence, it's mine. This is when I smile in mine, because then I go and clobber thine with something that could be clubbed or closely resemble such, because then y'all would get sucked through straw like you was Maul, a dinosaur. I'm just dying to show off the shit that I've been working on until my bra was full with sweat that bees that drop, because then the bees and nests would say God save the queen and stuff. Won't you get them hoes tied like so around your throats, and I could go give another thrust of this that's so right in the chest where it belongs. Have I said this best quite yet? If not, let me hit it again. My finest or my tribe would have died, well, it would have been on the battlefield, bitch, while y'all's would have been the dugout type shit, just digging into yourself like you had an itch that you couldn't reach. It's inside your guts, it's when they twist. I wanna just take them out and play them like accordions, according to Jim. Mine's the best, it glows and shimmers, so it's like the Christmas festival of lights when I go and spit my flow. That's when I get fluid, bro. From the ins and outs, I'm the ounces in the beaker that you pull to make the smoke come out. That's when the volcano rolls. That's when I wanna save my opera so they never get me off the stage with the rose they throw. That's when the thrust we got more big, when I rustle in the breeze type shit. I'm just dying to get the leaves off the sticks, that's why I did type shit. When the idea hits, I go with it. Ideology, dog, is more than the microscope for the petri dish that's small. It's more than me, just the small on the wall. It's like Saturday night fever, bitch. Almost alive again. Would that have been wrong to say? Maybe I lied to them and my nose started to grow. A Pinocchio made and chiseled from wood, because I felt like my bones were all cold. With the marrow was spokes, because I murdered y'all. I mirrored y'all for a second, but now I'm just a merely reflection of myself. I'm a shadow, dog. I'm Pan. You can pull me off by the ankle if you want, because I'm angling for soul. I'm not angling some like a fish I caught, because then you could have called your congressman with a call for maybe a little poem that you wrote and folded like it was a note. A child could have wrote like it was Valentine's Day coming up. Every time I put a comma on, I stretch real long, stretch my arms, the alarm clock from wall, because then I fucking said some ugly y'all with the warmest glove, like it was wool that I sheared off of the sheep that didn't even know. Maybe y'all didn't need to know type stuff. Then I go and I hold the needle so I hope was closed with the case that's dope, because then that fucking steak alone would have made a load of sense to me as I'm making up stuff on the spot, you see, because then the stove would have got real cold from the whole amber glow it was, because the glow of the crystal bowl was merely octopus all alone. It's his domes, his lays under is what makes me say such things, some crazy things that I would think, because then I decay and where my brain used to be, you see, because it's all gelatin now. That's how it goes, so fluid, fluorescent style. With some of this I'm gonna put two in right now, because I could put two in that waltz when I could only put one and 1.5. Like it breaks down the fragments and stuff like mathematicians going to write. Like the wires crossed when they weren't supposed to touch at all. They got all interlinked though. Like this was what the interstate does when you're on the Autobahn for too long, because then I borrowed from myself or borrowed from Tom to pay Jim or pay Suzanne. Like she's gonna get another one of this corset wrist so she could tie with strings I'm big, because you big type shit is my big would have come like it's a Brussels city that once lit. Now it's a ghost town instead. In stride with my next ride. Get inside of the skull, right? The catacombs that they'll find nice. And then they would have got the cuffs off of the wrist tight. As I go with this ride. This is what would whip and then leave a mark when after it did type shit. Like I colored it with marker right here type shit. Another idea, dog? Or was it just a resemblance of it? I resemble the great Alexander, dog, a different one you don't know about. Not everybody was wrote in history books, some were wrote off type stuff, but wrote into the setting sun and lived a business life never to be mentioned again, because they didn't want them to live like thine. Live like thine that twist on vines. I'm just the grape that squash the meat, something you could put a cork on and save for a rainy day. It's just a chick to kiss, because then I could get my kiss spent with another stylish rendition of when I went type shit. When an idea was the winter time, I get into rhyme like it's a sweater of mine. Would you bet all you got? Would you bet the farm? Or would you just sell it off? Like you could kick the bucket if it's in your way type stuff. And then I fucking took the weights off. Now I can run as quick as I want. Yes, it was practice all along. I just wanna go decorate this house of flows like it's a house of corpse. And I got the course for all them I called behind them souls. It was all a cluttered core, but with, because I'm the spider on the wall. I just wanted to decide if the cider house could ever get a sip of what's inside of the extension. It will start to burn the bed of flesh. That's when the pill big motion went, when my next rib could have been the whirling to get the wind down the drain again. Yes, it's a drain, oh bitch, and I just want what's inside the dome. I want it so bad because you don't use it at all. And I can feel it like a bulb. I can feel it like the filament switch. All of this that I sit and I flip, because an idea would have hit if the whip would have ever get dry once again. That's when the asphalt could get walked upon, dog. Because you're welcome, I want to change your route to something else. Boom. That's all it was. The ones and onesie talk, the fuzzy wuzzy stuff. Little bubbles that pop and Cinderella that scrub, they all connect, bro. That's O in a row and O me go in that flow, because then the fucking beautiful foam and the mist that would go, because it's a waterfall mix. All of them rainbows just glow. They start to pop with the colors they got. It's TWA fucking us up, because he wants to fuck something so hard that's bent over what that was carved, because it could have been oak. And I bet that bitch was Mary Poppins for sure. Boom. She probably was. British blonde bitch. Yes! Soon.